Okay. Give us a little conversation. To say something to me in the microphone?
Which one?
Yeah, sorry. Okay. You're working. You're all good. You're all good. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's.
Is this streaming now?
It should be streaming,
Hi everybody.
but something has slightly gone askew because I can't see you guys on the thing. So I'm not going to do my introductions just as yet. So I'll let me just do wherever that thing has vanished off to. Where are you guys? Why is that not working? Huh? You seem to be all like, what? What?
Totally.
For some reason you're upside down and the wrong way around. Oh, there you go. There you are.
That's just what my face looks.
Let me see. Okay. All right. Take a dunk.
Oh, I'm glad that you actually have a picture because on Skype I can't see anything. I was like, oh man, he has got a picture.
Oh man. Oh man.
Just the headless blue dude, was it? Or
Yeah, just like the
headless?
the white on the blue background, random.
Ah, okay. Bit better than the Twitter egg. I never got that. What is that about?
Right, okay. Whew. All right, we can start now, I think. Okay, so hi everybody, Matt Geary for the Geek Pride cast on this Tuesday evening. I have two of my esteemed colleagues with me. First up, we have Julieta Zavadsky.
Woohoo, hey.
And he's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's bad. He spends most of his time making babies and games. It's Bevan Clatworthy.
Hi.
So you got a new
17.
you got a new sprog on the way then, Bevan.
I have, yeah. I'm basically breeding my own playtesters so I can get more board games made. So, yeah, new one on the way. End of December, Christmas baby. We're not going to call it Jesus, so nobody asked.
Oh, okay. First off, major letdown right there.
What?
Sorry about that. Oh, Jesus? Is that the other one?
What about Jeebus?
Jeebus.
Oh my word! Yes.
So he's going to get
Please,
born.
please, middle name Jeebus.
I will put that in the hat of names. There we go. It gets pulled out.
So he's going to get born. He or she. Oh, do you know what sex it is yet?
That's a little boy.
Oh, so you're going to have a little boy born around Christmas. So you're going to have to get two sets of presents for him.
Yeah, or one really big expensive one. I mean, not for the first 5 years because they're not quite aware of what's going on. Oh, actually, no. Poppy twigged within 2. Oh, crap. This may be the only Christmas I can get away with it.
Yeah. You're getting board games. Oh, Dad likes those board games. I'm going to play
Recommended
them
age
too.
15 plus. Oh, whoops.
Right, guys. So, how's things? What have you been up to? Anything interesting happened to you since I last talked to you, which has been, for both of you, quite a bit of time. What's up?
You go. Go.
Wait, I was trying to think of something really cool that I'd done, but I can't really think of anything. No, I mean, I've just been streaming a lot lately.
Hashtag cosplay life.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody seems to think that because you're cosplaying stuff, like you have this really interesting life, and it's just like, no, I just sit at home, I play with my cat, play a bit of Xbox sometimes, I eat a lot, and now I stream, so that's about it. Man.
Oh, I remember you saying last time we were streaming that you were drinking. It was something dodgy, and it was something to do with bulls.
Bull?
Yeah.
She was drinking bull semen. Bevan.
That was it.
That was
That
it.
was
We were talking about how long ago this last conversation was with us. We were talking about bull semen.
That was it,
people are gonna
Taurine.
think that I just sit at home and drink bull semen.
Synthesized bull semen, so it's okay.
Sorry, total derailment there.
Yeah. No, it doesn't get anything like last. The last podcast we had last week, Mike happened, and he just sort of exploded onto the podcast. He wrote us a little jingle, which for some reason isn't working on my bloody computer, which is really annoying. But let me just check if it might be my audio settings. Oh, it might be my audio settings. I wonder if I can actually get it playing. But he wrote us a little jingle, and then he started talking about how, and I never knew this, that Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden got tongue cancer from going down on too many women, apparently. And I was like, you're lying to me, man. That's bullshit. But apparently it's true. There's some sort of, you can catch some sort of STD type thing, which is carcinogenic. And I was just like, holy shit.
I think someone mentioned HPV, didn't? Is that the herpes virus?
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
I think that could be it, because then all it takes is like spontaneous growth that's uncontrolled, and then suddenly, yes, you've got cancer.
Wow. Okay. Right. There we go.
I'm not a doctor, by the way, everybody out there. So could have just been pulling that out of the air.
Right.
Probably the coolest way to get cancer, don't you think?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, if you're going to do a rock and roll thing, that's the sort of thing you want to be doing. It's like, how did you get cancer? That's loads of women, basically. That's it. Holy shit, man. That's kind of cool. But yeah, he did that.
Get it.
He did some sex ed video with his puppet of Godzilla. And started ranting about Metal Gear Solid, ranting about Nintendo, and then just left. So he was on, left. But yeah, it's always good to have Mike around now and again. I think I've got the track. You guys, unfortunately, will not be able to hear it, but everybody else will. Let me just see if I can play it now. Will it work? Will it?
If we can't hear it, you can't hear it.
Yeah, well, that seems to be the way. I think the computer just crashed. Oh, no. Oh, that's sad. That makes me sad. Poor Mike. Because he worked so hard on it. Oh, well. There we go. The gods did not want it to happen. The gods of Geek decided to tell him that he wasn't allowed to have his song played. Anyway, so... nothing interesting has happened with Julietta, who has spent all this last couple of months or bunch of weeks that we haven't seen her eating, drinking, and streaming.
Yep.
Excellent. Bevan, apart from having lots of sex and making other human lives, what have you been doing?
Well, I've been doing some other serious adulting, so I'm hoping to move house, which is, something, which is not that interesting. But anyway, the main thing that I've been up to in the last few months is I recently ran another Kickstarter with my business partner, Gino, for some expansions for that board game we designed last year. Ghostel, yes. So, essentially we ran a Kickstarter to include some expansions, because during the first campaign we had a couple of stretch goals where we were going to add in some more guest cards and a few other little bits and pieces, and we didn't quite reach them. So rather than just let it sort of die on the vine and tuck it away and start on something new, we had so many requests for more content that we just said, well, why not? We'll just run another Kickstarter, see if we can get those expansions made. And it just took off like a rocket. It was insane. We funded within 66 minutes or something weird, like some weird number like that. So yeah, it was fantastic. It was
it's
really
a sign
good
from Jeebus.
Jeebus came down.
Your unborn son.
Yeah. So it was fantastic. It was really good.
You need to call your son something really cool, like Garthrang the Destroyer or something like that.
Garthrang, I want him to survive school.
Well, what are you going to do? So it's like, hey, is Stevie here? Miss John? Miss Garthrang the Destroyer? I am here! And I'd be like, holy shit, that's the coolest name ever.
Garthrang. Bearded by 12 years old, yeah.
He'd run that school.
Could you imagine? Little dictator.
You wallied out there. Nice. Dude, you wallied out in the best part there. You were like, could you imagine Little Dick? Yes.
Well, his first name might be Richard, so that might work out.
Little Dick.
Little Dick on the world.
As always, if you have any, if you want to shoot the shit with us, if you want to ask any questions, just talk. By all means, put some messages on the Facebooks, on the Twitch, and on the YouTube. First up, we have Mark Pickering on Facebook. He says, Julietta, would you consider cosplaying some Dragon Ball?
Yeah, I mean, like, can I? Because I've never really watched it. Would I be shunned?
Would you be like, oh, you're such a fake geek? Because
Yeah,
you'd be equivalent to that person who wears the AC/DC top and doesn't listen to AC/DC.
But the thing is, though, it's kind of not the same, though, because I'm like...
I'm just a girl.
Yeah, like, I'm a guy. Like, I'm just totally
a girl.
Like, I don't know why I'm here. Well, I mean, I can imagine some people will probably not like that, but it depends what character and stuff. Because quite a lot of people have mentioned that to me, but because I've never watched it, you know, like fire incoming on that. But yeah, just like not really something I've grown up with.
Yeah,
well, if you wanted to cheat your way into it, there are apparently there's abridged versions of the series. So I don't know if you know, but a lot of the episodes of Dragon Ball Z seem to involve Goku or Vegeta or, you know, one of the main characters basically shouting for the entire episode.
I don't even watch the thing, and all I know, I've watched this video of some dude who's all like trying to go Super Saiyan. I don't even know what Super Saiyan is, but he's sitting there kind of going like this. He goes, and he's like really getting into it, and he goes, and he's topless, and it's just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I've seen the video. It's mental. So okay, so for essentially the Super Saiyan, so like the main character is called Goku, right? And he is a Saiyan. He's like an alien dude with a monkey tail, and at the full moon he turns into a giant monkey and smashes stuff up. So what they do is they surgically remove his tail during one of the episodes so that it doesn't happen again. Don't know
it
why.
reminds me of Super Vet of watching them just before, like removing rabbit balls.
What? Why was he
identical?
Why was he removing rabbit balls?
Well, because obviously they don't want shitloads of baby rabbits, so they were like, you know, giving in the snip.
Oh, right. So it's nothing about getting superpowers at midnight or anything.
Well, we don't know.
Tried to make a wish with them, but it didn't work. Yes.
Oh man.
Gross.
Sorry, we
anyway,
saying, Bevan, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, right. So essentially, yeah, he can do all that kind of thing, and he's like a super fighter, and they can get better and better and better. And at one point, he has like a life-changing event, which means that he becomes incredibly stressed, and then suddenly his hair turns blonde, his eyes turn green, and he unlocks something called the Super Saiyan, which is like the ultimate form of his race or something. And it doesn't stop there. There's like episodes where he becomes Super Saiyan 2, 3. I think there's like 4, and then there's God mode, and also it goes mental. He's like, his hair just keeps changing color.
kind of like Supersonic and Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, except that Supersonic stopped at Supersonic, didn't he? He just kind of went, "That'll do. That's good enough." So, yeah. I mean, to be honest, if you wanted to cosplay it, just go for it. Everyone would recognize it. You just go, "Yeah, it's Goku." So,
yeah, it's Goku. You should do that.
Right?
You should do that. You should do that and see how many people you can troll. Pick something really random and make it so make it. Obviously do the costume properly, but then when you're talking to them about it, make really massive glaring mistakes about it and see if people get super nerd rage about it. And then see what happens on what's 4chan, see all them fucking going.
Yeah.
Oh no, because I'll be part of one of those like articles where it's like the top 10 most faker gamer girl things. And no doubt Jessica Negri will be like in there as well, because she's always in there. But yeah, I can imagine there'd be a lot of articles about it and been like, she's such a faker.
It just, you know what, I was trying to figure out this whole sort of nerd rage thing and why sort of people get annoyed about it. And I can sort of kind of partially see that if you've got somebody who you know isn't into something and is just doing it for the, you know, because, you know, getting the nerds to like them and stuff. But a lot of the time, and like out of all the cosplayers, people who do that I know are massive nerds. They know what they're talking about. They know the themes they're doing. They know they play games. They read lots of books. They're into their science and stuff like that. So I'm just like, why are you getting angry with these people? And I'm just thinking, it's going to be either one of two things. If it's a dude, it's because he thinks that if he's all like down on these sort of people, then maybe he'll get laid because he's being like the edgy sort of guy who's all like,
right.
oh, yeah, I'm totally that guy. I know I don't play by the rules, even my own. And then sort of, somebody might come up to him and go, "I'm totally going to have sex with you right now," and he'll be like, "Cheers, man." Or
what is he? The Fonz? Hey,
just
like what?
Hey, I don't like these cosplayers. Hey.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember my second point, but yeah, that's it.
Didn't that happen to you at the expo? Someone came up to you about your armor.
Yeah,
or something
man.
about this.
That was
you
it.
Just think.
There was this guy. This like I don't understand. It just annoys me in general why people. Like I said, in small, I can understand why, it annoys me when I see people wearing AC/DC tops and they don't like AC/DC and the Ramones, especially like Ramones and things like that. We're just like, they're very sort of edgy, sort of niche band, and you're just wearing it, each to their own and stuff. So I wouldn't say anything to them, but it's like, but conversely, I don't see where it comes from. Why do you need to be that guy? It just boggles my mind how somebody's like, I think you'll find that you are actually this, and that's movie inaccurate. That is. And
they all have that voice too.
Yeah, they do.
I fucking hate that guy. I really do. And it's just like when people come up to me and are trying to tell me about being a geek, and I'm just like, what? And I'm just like sitting here amongst all my Lord of the Rings figures and my little toy men and my gaming table and stuff, and going, yeah, I know nothing about being a nerd, nothing at all. I'm just a jock who plays guitar, and I'm just a bit too cool, to do all this shiz. It's just like they kind of give themselves a bad name sometimes, and I think that's a problem with geek culture in general. I think, and we've talked about this before, I think certain types of geeks give geeks a bad name because they are that generic TV stereotype.
Like Sheldon from Big Bang.
Yeah, and they're just a bit weird, and it's not and they're not pleasant, and that's not, I think, what the general sort of geek community's like. I don't think I've met the odd person who's kind of like that, but even those types who are a bit sort of, well, I wouldn't call strange, just a bit sort of unique, who are a bit sort of, maybe socially challenged, we all have our sort of issues, and some people are a bit more sort of harder with people than others, and I even they are quite nice. I've never met, well, no, I lie. I've met one or two, but I've never met that many sort of like asshole sort of geeks. But like proper that guy, like that guy at the expo was that guy. But you get quite a lot of them online. I think it's when they're online they feel like they can get away with it. Whereas when when they're sort of they're in front of you and they're faced with a 6'3" Irishman in armor, they're kind of like, maybe
just take my wallet. Take my wallet. Leave me alone.
Maybe not.
Yeah. No, I totally. I mean, I have to admit, when I was younger, that was kind of me. I was definitely very much. I mean, and for me, it was the Transformers. Was my big thing, it was the fact that there was just so many different variants of the Transformers and different universes, and then they did the films, and it was at that point that I kind of went, hold on, they've twisted everything's wrong here.
The first one was good, and then they just went rapidly downhill from there.
Yeah, I mean, the quality of the films aside, yeah. The first one was pretty good, yeah, and after that it was just like, what are you doing? But it was, what I then did was I went and did a bit of research, and I found out that the Transformers franchise has been twisted all over the place from the 1980s version that I loved. It's gone all over the shop. And it was at that point that I kind of went, do you know, it really doesn't matter if you've got something that you love and you really enjoy and you can express that in a different way, then that's fantastic. Cosplayers doing like female versions of male characters and vice versa, or putting their like a steampunk twist on a famous DC character, for example. It's just it's the innovation, it's the love of that topic, it's the love of that thing that has made you go, do you know what, I'm going to put my own personal spin on that, and but I still love the base character themselves. I've just loved them so much that I want to explore them within my own kind of framework. Yeah, and I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I think they're the best costumes actually, because then it's unique. It's it's a bit of you like being put out there. I mean, I'm arty anyway, so every time I see like a kind of catered costume to like their personality, I'm like, oh, this is really good.
It's true, and I just people who who are creative are the best sort of people. It's just like Mike Orvis, who's on here. He does a million things. I think maybe he's a bit too creative because he has about a bazillion bands. He does a million podcasts. He does all kinds of things, but because of that, he's an interesting person, and I think they're the sort of people you want to be around. You don't want a boring bastard that he doesn't do anything. He just sits around eating, streaming, and
Yeah, God, who does that?
That's just crazy.
He's super crazy, man. Okay, have you watched? Did you watch Stranger Things yet, Bevan?
No, is it on Netflix? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Netflix? Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I'm so sad.
What about? Have you seen Big Mouth yet?
Oh, I've watched a couple of like the trailers. That looks hilarious.
What about you, G? Have you seen it?
Big Mouth? What's
Big
that?
Mouth. It's right. It's on Netflix. Seriously, watch it. It's hilarious. It's literally about a bunch of kids going through puberty, and they've got this thing called the puberty monster that visits them.
Oh my God.
It's fucking amazing. But the problem is, it's funny in a sort of scarily accurate way. It's like if you're a little, some of the stuff they're talking about, there's a bit in it where this kid, and I've mentioned this before, but this kid Jay basically is talking about fucking his pillow, and I was creasing because I caught my brother at it once. It's alright. It's a running joke now. I know it gets out everywhere and stuff. He's 34 years old now, so he's over it. But he gets ripped about it all the time. And when I saw that, I literally was streaming with tears, and I sent them a video. I was like, dude, watch this. And he was crying about it as well. But it's literally.
I think I saw you post about that actually.
Yes, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. Like you watch it and just kind of go, "That's hilarious," but stupidly accurate as well. And it's like there's a female version of the hormone monster, and it's like you just have to watch it, man. It's kind of a bit sort of like, holy shit, can they get away with this? But it's funny. It's very, very, very funny, man. Very funny. You need to watch it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll look out for that.
Yeah.
I've got some time off coming.
Yeah. I don't envy you sort of moving, man, because my missus is currently sending me on a daily basis houses, so we're probably looking to move into with each other, and yeah, so that's 2 houses to sell and 2 houses, and then get a place together. And
wow, serious.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the issue is she wants me to move in with her first in Marple, where she lives, and I'm like, no, you should come and live with me, and nobody wants to budge because I don't want to give up my man cave straight away, and she doesn't want to be further away from her area in Marple, so we're at a bit of an impasse. So
We could maybe just take it in turns. I wouldn't sell anything first because obviously you both want your spaces, but maybe do like a month at hers and then she does like a month at yours, so you're kind of meeting in the middle a little bit.
Well, we see each other quite a lot, to be honest, so it's not, that's not the issue.
Yeah, but you're no, because I mean, like it's different when you actually move in with somebody. I mean, Josh was all like, "Oh yeah, let's move in together," and then I was like, "You do realize though that like you're really clean and I'm really messy." And he's like, "No, like I don't mind. That's cool. We'll set you all up in your own room, and you can keep that as messy as you want." And then it's slowly just gone everywhere, and now I work downstairs and. At first it was a bit like, oh, so I see that you set up in the living room. Oh, okay then. Are you going to tidy that up later? And I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. 4 months down the line it's still there, and he's kind of accepted it now. So I think you definitely need to live with each other a little bit first to kind of get past that hurdle.
Maybe, yeah. I think moving in, because obviously she's got kids and stuff, so it's just like a completely different kettle of fish. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I basically my things. If we get a new house, right? Because in my place, right? So I've got my house. I've literally it's been about a year, but I got my man cave. I got my garage converted. I've got my 24-inch computer monitors, my 55-inch up here. You know, it's all looking awesome. It looks great, and I love being in here and doing my nerd thing. And she was all like, "Yeah, we'll just stick everything in storage, and you can stick." I'm like,
Oh, no.
I was like, "No, it's not going to happen." So I was just like, "Okay, Louise, I don't care where we live." Well, I do kind of slightly care because I would prefer we had a nicer house than sort of some shit one in a nice area. But I don't generally care where we live. I don't care what you do with the rest of the house. But I want a room that is equal to or greater in size than the one I have already for my stuff. And that's my place. I need my man cave for my things. And that's my only stipulation in moving house and stuff, So she's sending me all these things, and I'm sitting there going through them. And the first thing I look for is, can I convert this garage? Is it bigger than the one I have? And if the answer is no, I'm like, nope. And she's like, but why? And it's like, because my garage is 19 feet long and 10 feet wide, and this one is only 17 feet long and 6 foot wide. I'm just like, no, great. Remember, greater to or equal to the one I have. So she's sitting there kind of just going, fuck's sake. But those are the rules. That's what's going on. So yeah.
She's not going to make you go down like the 40-year-old virgin thing where she makes you sell everything.
No, I think deep down, I think she would like me to get rid of some of my stuff because it literally is everywhere. The only reason, if you were to come to my house, if you were a nerd or, a single guy, you would just be like, or even a single girl, you would just be like, wow, this is pretty cool. You've got a lot of cool stuff. But you get people coming around and they see my house, which is literally just full of toys and shelves full of toys, and they go, okay. Okay.
Filling a void here somewhere.
Yeah. Like the first time I met Louise, I had to tell her, I was just like, Louise, I'm a huge nerd. And she's like, oh, that's okay. Thinking, just, a bit of glasses, like sort of the odd sort of like superhero thing. I was like, yeah, I don't think you understand how much of a level of a nerd I am. I run a website called Geek Pride, and I have all the things, like all of them, all over my house. And she's like, oh, it can't be that bad. And then when she first came in, she's like, oh, that's a lot of stuff. And I was like, that's not it. It's around the corner as well. And she's like, oh, right, okay. And then it's like, yeah. And I kind of converted my garage, and it's all in there as well. And she just sort of kind of looked around. And luckily for me, she accepted it, and she's sort of, she's all good, because, that's one of those things you have to. She's been with me for a year now, so I suppose you've got to understand. And amazingly, I thought I'd do this, but her son's 16, Ryan, and he was like, he asked me loads of questions and stuff, and I was just like, yeah, do this and do this. He's been to a few conventions with me. And I thought, hey, I'm going to see if he wants to get into painting models and stuff. So I brought a bunch of models round to his mum's house. And we sat there and we painted. And then his daughter came in. And I had all of them paint the models. And it was so quiet. It was amazing. It was just like, they're all sitting there painting. And you got to understand this. Like, Louise, my girlfriend, and her daughter don't shut up. They are literally just talk. And then, like, I'm just sitting there. And I was like, Louise, here, I'd try this, and you gotta paint this. And then Lily, you sit there, and it was silence, and I was just like, this is amazing. This is amazing. I need to sell this remedy to other people who have other halves who are super sort of noisy. And yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. So yeah.
And you got your armies painted up.
Yeah, that's true. No, it was she was kind of going, first of all, because I'm a bit, what's the word, picky like that. I was just like, she's like, oh, I want to paint that big model up there, and I'm like, nope. And she's all like, but I want to. And I was like, Louise, you've not painted anything yet, and I don't want you painting one of my best models and then messing it up or doing something. I love you, but, you know, let's start small and then we'll move up. So she started like with a little Space Marine, and she did a pretty good job. But she did this whole thing. It's like, oh, it's done now, and I'm like, it's not done. You got to do all the bits where you've sort of kind of gone over the edges. No. You got to do all the detail. Then it's done. And she's like, no, I like that. It's done. And I'm like, okay, it's done. So she did it, and then I came round, and she's like, all right, I want a bigger model now. And I'm like, oh no. And she's like, I want one of those. I want one of those. And I was like, no, you're not allowed it. You haven't finished painting the other one properly. She's like, I have. I was like, all right, I'll tell you what, Louise, you can paint Bjorn the Fell-Handed, the old metal cast version of him, if you do it properly and you do it the color scheme that I want. And she's like, okay. So she started doing it. She got halfway through it, and she's like, oh, he's done now. And I'm like, he's not done. He's not done. So, yeah. So there you go. At least I you know, get them into painting and stuff, and they're sort of accepting it. You know, they accept that I'm a super nerd. You know.
That's really cool.
Yeah. To the point where I actually went trick-or-treating with her and Lily, dressed up in my Star Wars armor. It was amazing. It was so good. I really enjoyed myself. I think I may have enjoyed myself a little bit more than Lily did. And she's 6 years old.
Oh, God.
What was she dressed
to the next
again?
house. Come on.
She had a little witch outfit. And like she was getting a lot of just like running up to the sort of to the doors, and all the people were going, oh, you're the cutest witch I've ever seen. And then I just like rock up with my lightsaber pole and like turn it on, and the dads would sort of pop their heads around the corner and go, wow, man, can I play with lightsaber? And I'm like, yeah, man, cool, yeah. It's like, that's amazing, it's amazing. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And then they're like, do you want some sweets? And I'm like, well, okay.
Oh, brilliant.
Let's see, we've got some comments on Facebook and Twitch here. What says, here kids going to be taking them all out, the packages, oh no.
I think that was to do with you having to maybe get rid of your man cave.
Oh yeah, her kid's going to be taking them all of their packages, oh no. Yeah, that's why Matt has what they call a rock door with a digital keypad. So basically, to get into my door, it's battering ram proof, and it has a keypad. So you have to either have a fob to get in, or you need to know the number to get in. I'm bringing that with me. Any place I go, that door's going on the door. And we've got Daniel Perskerowski. Newest update. We don't want the newest update. We'll snooze. We got Peravosky, the guy who's on all the podcasts talking to us, and we can't pronounce his name properly, is here. Hello. Are any of you going to Birmingham Comic Con on the 18th and 19th?
No.
The short answer is nobody is going. We do actually have some Geek Pride people going, but unfortunately I am not going, Julieta's not going, and Bevan's probably making more babies, so...
It's getting cold. We've got to keep warm somehow.
Brilliant. So, what has everybody been playing, watching, anything sort of interesting that you want to talk about? That's amazing. Cheers, guys.
Okay.
Great,
so bit of controversy in the board game world. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really one-dimensional. I only like board games. I don't watch TV. I don't play video games. That's a complete lie, by the way. I'm just trying to be silly. Yes. So, do you know a chap called Tom Vassell, or do you know of a company called the Dice Tower?
Yes. Tom Vassell is potentially going to be. Wait, before you do this. Is this a bad thing against Tom Vassell? Is there an issue with him?
No, not really. Well, not from my standpoint, but it's just something that was quite interesting in the industry recently. He did a video for, sort of doing what his Tom Think segment.
Yeah. And
essentially he came under a lot of flack because in one of the videos he talked about the relationship between consumers and your sort of friendly local gaming stores. They call them sort of FLGSs.
Yes.
Yeah, so essentially, a lot of the stores were up in arms because what he was saying was
Buy
something
online.
along the lines of you don't have to support them. Yeah, you buy your stuff online. You don't have to support these friendly local gaming shops.
Yeah.
I mean, from my perspective, it sounded more like he was saying don't support the bad ones. The bad ones don't deserve your money, and they don't deserve your time, and they don't deserve your support. But it sounds like more that everyone kind of took it as, shoot down all your FLGSs. Online is the way forward. Let's not bother with the stores at all.
There was a guy, the guy who runs Fanboy 3 in Manchester.
Yes, Dave Salisbury.
Yeah, I think that's his name.
Right.
They've moved place, they've moved premises, which is good because the old one smelled. I know he got a lot of stick for it, but the old one seriously smelled of funk. It was horrible. It was just going in there, just smelled. But they've got a new place. It's bigger. It doesn't smell. And he had this massive rant about that. I didn't read it all. It was definitely too long. Read later, but yeah. It obviously got to him, and there was quite a lot of comments about it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I watched the video. To me, it, like I said, it definitely sounded like he was saying don't support the bad ones, but I think through the language that he was using, he was kind of tarring them all with the same brush, and that's what's kind of caused this rift. So, plus he's, a lot of his stuff is supported by a company called Cool Stuff Inc. and they're all online sales. So, well, they might have a store, but they're mostly online sales. So a lot of people are sort of saying, he's got an agenda in this as well.
I think,
but this is crazy.
Thinking too much into it, to be honest.
I think so. I don't think Tom did himself any favors by, he sort of dug into the point quite far. He kept going back to it and kept having another terrier type kind of worrying at it. But no, I don't think he was saying don't support your FLGS. I think he was saying just leave the bad ones. Just let those ones just sort of disappear.
When you say bad ones, what do you mean? Because I won't go to a gaming shop like a board game shop because I don't feel welcome. So do you mean in that sense, or do you just mean like drama in the groups, or what?
Exactly that. There are, there's certain shops out there are not known for their welcoming of female gamers. They're not welcoming of sort of children gamers. In fact, they're a lot of the sort of owners that I think he was talking about are the type where they started a game shop because they're kind of into Magic or they're kind of into Yu-Gi-Oh or something, and that's the game they want to play. So if you walk in there and say, can I get the latest Ticket to Ride, and they're kind of like in the middle of a game with their mate, they'll just sort of look at you as if to say no. If you're not buying Magic, get out. That kind of where you go into the store, they've got no interest in anything other than the big card games or something like that, and you just feel as you described, you don't feel welcome. You feel like you've just walked into somebody's house and just started mucking about in it. So
that's another thing that people like that just don't do themselves any favors. And you'd think for people who own a business, it shouldn't really matter who wants to buy stuff and what they want to buy. If you've got it, you should be showing them a lot of respect. But I've been not party to, but I've witnessed. I'll not name anybody, but I've witnessed some people in game stores doing exactly that. Unfortunately, you get Warhammer geeks who are very much like that as well. You're very much a case of if you're not sort of, in the clique, then they will give you grief, and that's just not cool, basically.
Well, when you hear comments like, oh, is your boyfriend here? It's like, no, I came in on my own.
I get that all the time, and it's so annoying. It really is degrading to walk in and you're looking at. I actually had it in a comic book store in Lincoln, and I wasn't buying for myself. I was actually going to buy a Christmas present for one of my flatmates, and I was like, I'll get him like a Thor comic book because he's obsessed with Thor, and so I'm like looking around, and the woman, and it was a woman as well, she came up to me and she was like, oh, can I help you? And I was like, oh no, I'm just looking really. And she was like, are you buying for your boyfriend then? And it's just like, why do you automatically assume that I'm buying for my boyfriend? Like, I could be gay for starters, but like, you know, what? Just because I'm a female that I can't be interested in comic books? It's just like, fuck you, man.
It is ridiculous. It's really silly sometimes.
I find it extremely refreshing when I go into sort of stores and I see girls sitting there doing their thing, playing games and painting. I actually have a feeling that I've got a like 100-person Grand Slam 40k tournament I'm doing in Stockport, Element Games. Not this weekend coming, but the weekend after, and I have a feeling there are some female competitors. Also, when I was in there last, there was a couple of female lasses sitting there painting and playing as well, and I was just like, that's the way it should be. Nobody was, nobody was bothered. No, there was no issues. It was good, and I think that's the way it should be. But there is definitely that old school sort of, strange. Like there's a parody. There's something. I think the Daily Mash. This whole thing with the sexual abuse going on and with actors and things.
That what's that producer called?
Weinstein.
Weinstein, yeah. That's the guy, yeah.
And what's his name? Actor. Fuck, what's the name of the actor?
Ben Affleck.
No.
Oh, gosh.
Not Ben Affleck.
You're white, then you Ben Affleck.
Yeah. It's Kevin Spacey.
No, he was involved with it.
Kevin Spacey.
Oh, Kevin Spacey.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Kevin, I'm gay, so that gets me out of jail free card, Spacey. So there's a whole party about how, if a girl wants to get away from sexual harassment, all she needs to do is go into a games workshop because everybody will just leave her alone. And it's just like, it's kind of...
that's mean.
Yeah, it's kind of true in a weird way sometimes and stuff, but it's just like, yeah, I think they need to sort of get over it, There's a lot of girls who think who would like to do it, but I think, like, Julieta is put off by the attitude of men in those establishments, which is a shame.
I mean, yeah, they had, I think they had one girl in there, and not like it made any difference, but she didn't like wear any makeup and she wasn't interested in like fashion or anything, which is fair enough. But she even looked at me and was just like, why are you even in here? And it's horrible because, like, I'm not going in there to be like, oh, guys, look at me. Look, I'm really cool because I'm pretending I like Warhammer. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Warhammer, on a wider scale, from the outside looking in, isn't particularly cool, really. I mean, like, I think it's cool.
What are you talking about, Juliana? It's fucking amazing.
He's just rocking his lifestyle now. He's just completely destroying it.
Well, I'm surrounded by Warhammer figures, and you're telling me it's not cool?
No, but that's the thing, though. I'm not going around being like, oh, guys, look at me. I think Warhammer's really cool, so does that make me cool now? Like, I'm not going out of my way because I think it's going to make me look cool. So it's just like, why do you have to treat people like that? And especially to have a girl who is in there still treat you like, like, what the hell are you doing here? It's silly. I would have thought, you would have wanted to stick together because it's like, yeah, no, the girls in here,
I think it's
not
tribalism.
my own.
I think it's tribalism, and I think, you get this with a lot of everything. If there's any sort of little clique, you will get tribalism, and people just sort of band together and then get really hostile with anybody outside of that little clique. And, like, you get a lot of geeks who think, I've been a geek forever. Anybody who tries to come in and try to do that thing or I deem is unworthy is just going to get a bunch of shit or is just going to get trolled on 4chan or Reddit. And it's just like, yeah, it's lame. It really is lame. It's just,
Yeah, it's just silliness. It really is. I find it really difficult. I mean, I'm raising a daughter now, and I'm very, very worried about where she's going to go. I mean, she might not become a geek. She might grow up to be, in inverted commas, a normal, sort of,
a muggle.
Yeah, exactly, a muggle, exactly. So she might grow up to just be, follow the crowd, do that kind of thing, and that's fine. But if she does go down sort of the geeky route, like her father, and to a lesser degree her mother, I'm worried. I worry because I stick my head into the industry and just see some very odd things. There was an article a few months ago where a lady was well, it was never quite explained, but she went through several stories of things that had happened to some personified woman. It may have been her in every single event, in which case she led a very rough existence, or several other ladies who've had similar experiences. But it talked about all sorts of things, like, at a Comic-Con, she was raped by someone who, she fell asleep and they somehow got into her room and did things to her. And then there was she was talking about where she went into a game shop and a very underage girl, sort of 13, 14, and then some blokes playing a war game or a card game or something made a comment along the lines of, if there's grass on the pitch, let's play. And you just think, oh god, I would just go in there with a big baseball bat or something and just start laying waste.
Like I don't think obviously Lily's not my daughter, but I like her a lot, and I wouldn't want any man sort of being sort of like that with her. If I had my own daughter, I think I'd be super, super protective of her. Like I always said that if I had a daughter, I would, any man who came around, I'd sort of be all like, I'd beckon them into my man cave, and I'd point to my newly bought shotgun, and I'd ask them their name, and I'd write the name on the shell, and I'd go, have her back for 10:30. And then put it on the shelf, and I put it in my most sort of kind of intimidating Northern Irish accent I could. But yeah, it is worrying. Women just sort of, do you know what, man? It's just like the Hammer 1985 said on Twitch, my daughter's grounded until she's 30. Good one. That's about right.
No, I think the best thing to do, like what my dad did, he was never controlling or anything like that. It wasn't like super, like have a back by 10:30 or whatever. He raised me like a bit of a boy. So he was like, yeah, you like football and you like quad bikes and you like this. So like automatically I was already kind of a bit tomboyish. And then he was like, right, okay, we're going to get you into taekwondo. And I did taekwondo for like 8 years, competed and everything. So I was at the point that if a guy ever spoke to me like that, I didn't need my dad. I could just flatten him myself. So I think maybe nice. Taekwondo or self-defense classes is a very good idea.
Granted.
Because how proud would you be of your daughter if, some guy made a comment and then she just turned around and like bust a chair on his back or something? You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'd be mortified, but inside, yes, I'd be fucking
You're like,
God, I'm so proud of you.
I didn't raise you to do that. Well done. Got him right on the noggin.
Yeah, man. I don't understand. I'm a man, and I understand that men are shit sometimes, and that we have one-track minds. I put it down to genetics and stuff, and it's sort of, it's hard. This sort of, it's in there, and you're just like, fuck off, get away, go away. But I just, if you're brought up properly, and you're a good human being, and you're a gentleman, you don't treat women like that, and you don't sort of, it's not even just women. You don't treat anybody like that. But it's just like, I don't understand how some guys think it's cool. Like, prime example, right? When Louise had a boss. I'll not name him or where he is sort of established.
It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Louise is a good-looking girl, and she gets a lot of sexual innuendo and sexual sort of banter towards her in especially in one of her places of work, which I'm not overly happy about, but because she doesn't want to sort of rock the boat, as a lot of you find a lot of these cases, these girls, they just say, I don't want to rock the boat, I want to keep my job and things. She's about the same, she gets on with them, she just sort of puts it down as boys will be boys, but more specifically, her boss, or one of her bosses, like she's self-employed, but she has sort of like, she works for companies, and one of these bosses basically sends her horribly sexual text messages and stuff. Now, I found out about these, and I was like, why the fuck are you putting up with this? And she's like, oh, he's just, he's drunk, or she'd make excuses. And I was just like, that's fucking insane. And I said, well, I hope you're keeping these, because that'll be a pay rise later on down the line.
Yeah.
When you threaten to throw that shit at him. But one day she got this message from him, because apparently when he's had a few drinks, or he's had a few, he's had a bit of nose candy, he fucking goes off on them and starts sending her like horrible sort of like, how much he would do to her and what he would do and all these things and stuff. And I was out with her. We'd been out for a night's date. We'd gone, and I got this. She got a message, and she was sort of reading it, and I said, "Give me that phone." And I have no issue. I don't read her messages. I don't, I'm a very trusting person, and I don't need to know what she's doing with her phone. She can talk to anybody who won't, because I trust her. But I knew it was this guy, and I said, "Give me your phone." And so she gave it to me, and I started reading this message, and I was like, "What the fuck is this guy's problem? What's going on here?" And it was horrible. It was just like, why would you even say this to a person, you like? It was sexually aggressive. It was cringeworthy. The whole thing was just like, how does that ever work with anybody? And then I started scrolling up at all the other messages he'd sent and stuff. And like, she's trying to play it off in her replies and things. And then I get up to the top, and lo and behold, there it is. A dick pic.
No, I was just waiting for you to say it.
Yeah, a dick pic, and it wasn't even a hard penis. It was a flaccid, ugly, shriveled dick pic. And I went to Louise. I was just like, Louise, why the fuck is there a dick pic on your account? And she's like, oh, he's just this. And I was just like, I said, why is that even sort of? Why would he even send that to you? It's not even fucking flattering. This guy has the smallest penis I've ever seen. It doesn't matter. But it's like, and I should know. I've got fucking squirrel cock, so it doesn't, it's just like, but it's just like, this guy, and I was like, how is that flattering? How does, if I'm going to impress a girl, I'm going, hey Louise, I'm going to send you a picture of my penis, and that's going to make you want to have sex with me. I don't think any girl has ever seen a picture of a penis and went, holy shit, I was totally not into this guy at that, but now
I want to ride it.
Now I've seen your flaccid, scrawny cock. I'm gonna totally have sex with you. It's like, I don't understand what goes through guys' minds. Why would you do it? It's like, the first thing a girl's going to do is send that shit on to her friends. She's like, look at this idiot. He sent me a flaccid dick pic. And that's what she did. She sent it around to these fucking people. So these people have this guy's cock on the fucking... Why would you do it?
On their screensavers, on their Instagram.
Yeah. So what I did, and what I did was, this guy sent a message saying, I'd like to do this to you and this and this. So I took a picture of myself, sent them back to him, and went, nah mate, I'm not into that sort of thing. And he didn't get a reply, no reply. And apparently in work he was just like, did I send you any messages the other night? I was really drunk and I was on drugs and stuff. And she's like, yeah, you did. And he said, oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't know what I was doing and stuff. And then we haven't heard anything since. So
Good.
it's just like, fucking hell, man. That was just absolutely insane how that girls have to put up with that sort of thing. And it's the fact that they feel like they have to, or they'll lose their jobs, or they'll have to because they'll, something will happen to them. So when I hear people say this stuff online, this is very serious for a geek conversation, but
yeah, this is getting deep.
Yeah, it's horrible. I would like to think I'm a gentleman and I treat most women with respect and with decorum, and I find it hard to be domineering when it comes to sex with my partner, let alone sort of kind of being sort of like, here's a dick pic and let's do this. It just sort of, it's not in me, because I've been told that you respect the opposite sex, and you don't do shit like that, and it's just, it boggles the mind. So I have the utmost sympathy for all these women and yourself, Juliet, and people who have to put up with this shit, because it's fucking horrible. It really is sort of grim, grim.
Well, I do find, I mean, yeah, it is a pain in the ass, but I suppose it's kind of like generally known and not accepted that like we accept that guys do that, but like everybody knows that some guys do that, so it's not like an unheard of thing. But when like a woman would do that to a guy, it's kind of like, oh man, you know, like whatever, that's so stupid and stuff. So I kind of feel sorry for guys that get, you know, sexually harassed by women. I mean, I've not heard many cases of it, but it can't be easy to admit from a guy's point of view.
You do get it. Now, again, I'll not mention any names and stuff like that, but, you know, I've been, you know, what you would probably call sexually assaulted by a couple of women, where they've been a bit sort of touchy-feely, grabbed my bits. I've been out in town, and some girl just came up to me and grabbed me by the cock. It just grabbed my penis.
What were you doing with it hanging out?
I went out. Obviously, it's so big, Bevan. It was hanging. It was just sort of like scrolling down my leg.
Oh my
you know?
God! She thought she'd grab my knee.
Yeah. But yeah, and then there was a lady, a more sort of mature lady, who used to quite like sort of being very touchy-feely with me and some of my friends. And it was just like, because you're men, you know, it's felt like, you know, you've just got to deal with this, accepted. You know, it didn't bother me. You know, it was just a bit weird, but it, you know, it does happen. I doubt it happens as much as maybe, you know, it will happen with ladies. But yeah, there is obviously, you know, sexual advances to guys, and because they're guys, it's sort of expected that they should just deal with it. Like that whole saying, "Man up," which seems to come up a lot. You know, if you can't do it, man up. I was like, well,
see, there's the difference though. You said sexual advances. A sexual advance is not the same as a sexual abuse or a what would you call it? Right. Yeah. So a sexual advance, you know, if someone came up to you and propositioned you, you know, that's a thing, and you can deal with that situation. Yeah. But if someone's sending to your missus those horrific pictures and text messages that are quite clearly overstepping a boundary.
I wish I had that picture now. I wish I could just show it. Because it was just, I might actually get her to send it to me just for a punishment, you know, and because she doesn't even really like working there. She, you know, so I think I might say, you know, when you're about to leave, Louise, send me that picture, and I'm just gonna plaster it all over the internet.
Yeah, but can't you get like done for that now? Because it's like, what is it called? You know, when
revenge
porn? Revenge porn. So what I would do is I would just email it to his work or something, because
he's the boss, unfortunately. So here you go. Here's your penis, mate. It's like, all right, bro.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing is, I'm not a violent person, so when it comes to sort of stuff like that, you know, other men might be like, me man, must fight. And, you know, I can get to the Hulk angry stage if I'm pushed, but it's just like, I just look at things like that and just go, it's embarrassing, and, you know, you're not even worth it, to be honest. You know, why would I do it? If he had physically touched her or something, then maybe that would be something completely different. But, you know, stuff like that, it's just like, it's embarrassing, mate. Why would you do that to yourself? You just... You know.
Oh, I lose my temper all the time, because I've only had one guy touch me while in costume, and it was my Alien Queen costume, and he put his hand on my butt. Of all costumes, he picked that one. But I normally
that's saying a lot about him, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I know. And he was just, and I was like, can you just like not get your hand, like, can you get your hand off me? And he was like, oh, like, why? And it's like, well, because I don't know you, and I wouldn't just walk up to you and put my hand on your bum, so like, fuck off. But I don't really get people touching me, thank God. But I get a lot of propositions. So I get a lot of like emails or like comments.
Have you got any to hand? You don't have to name names. Do you have anything you can read?
I actually I had one the other day, and like I'm quite like a hot, fiery tempered person, so like I can be totally chill,
Hashtag
and then
mental.
all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden like something can just like just push me the wrong way, and I can just totally lose my temper, and I'm just like, fuck this, fuck you guys, and like I just get really snotty about it. And somebody emailed me the other day and was just like, oh, do you do... I get this all the time, and it's so annoying. It's like, oh, do you do private photo shoots, and do you do private videos? And if you do, how much? And I like, normally I'd just be like, I'd either ignore them or I'd be like, no. But I just kind of, like, it pushed me off the edge, and I was just like, go fuck yourself, you dirty little pervert. And I just kind of like blew up about it. So, and then like Josh afterwards was like, you know, you don't have to be so horrible about it. And it's just like, but why ask me that? Like, I'm not, and like, I'm not, I clearly don't do this. Like, you've never come across me being like doing like dirty videos or anything. So like, why ask me that?
It boggles my mind what goes through certain guys' heads. I think, you know, it's literally, you'll have guys who have obviously very little experience of the opposite sex, and they think that's cool, or they think that that's sort of what people do, and it's madness, pure madness. You know,
I think it annoys me because they act like as if you're so desperate for money that you'll like be like, oh yeah, like I'll totally do that. Like one guy said, you know, oh, I'll buy you really expensive underwear, and it was just like, no, I don't want you to. Or like, oh, I'll send you money. Can I send you money? No. Like, why would you say that?
Fucking hell. Happens to me all the time. You know, people offering me sexy underwear and money and shit, and I'm like, I'm just not that sort of guy. You know, I do like the underwear, and money would be good, but you know.
Are you an underwire or an overwire guy?
At this moment in time, I think I need a bit of an under thing. I need to get back to the gym.
See, mine's a corset. It's got to be a proper pie. I've got dad bod. Dad bod is happening. I know Dustin would be really pissed if he heard me say that. Sorry, Dustin. But yeah, dad bod is happening. And it's not good.
Beer belly. Yeah, a bit of a beer
belly. Yeah.
See, that's the problem with the geary. All the geary men, they're not sort of too bad, sort of up top and stuff. They're quite wide, sort of like, you know, quite well built, but they all have big beer bellies. And I'm just like, I don't want to get the beer belly, so I've been like hammering the gym. But then, obviously, because I've been busy and holidays, and recently I haven't been arsed, haven't been in a while, and it's growing. And I'm just like, oh no, I need to get back.
It's alive.
It's alive. It's alive.
Yep.
There we go. So yeah, but yeah. So yeah, that was very deep. Yeah, very deep. So yeah, yeah. I'm not sure how Louise is going to feel about me airing her business.
Does she listen? Does she?
Yeah, she does now and again. She's annoyed at me because I think she's annoyed at me because she's going to bed now, and I haven't been talking to her all day because I was at band practice before I came here, and then obviously straight into the podcast. So she's like, not talking to me.
You're a terrible boyfriend. You fired.
But we were writing a really good song at practice, and then sort of came in, and I had to sort of, you know, run in, and I sort of sent her a few messages on the way to I sent her a few dick pics, and on the way just sort of I was like driving and shit, you know, taking a picture. There you go, that'll do you. And
Please tell me it was pictures of Dick Van Dyke. Just be fantastic.
I've seen that before, where people have actually said, I'm going to send you a gratuitous dick pic, and it's just Dick Van Dyke or something like that.
Oh, I'd actually look forward to those kind of dick pics.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, I would send like, you know, dick pics, and it was just like people called Dick. So yeah.
Dick Tracy?
Yeah.
Dick Whittington?
Yeah. Gratuitous dick pic. The Hammer 1985 says Dick Pick and Chill. I think that's going to have to be the name of this podcast. Dick Pick and Chill.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Okay. So we're going to have to call it a day soon, or call it an eve. So has anybody got anything else they would like to talk about? Sans dick pics.
Well, if I don't, I'm saying this to everybody who's watching, if I don't get a Dick Van Dyke pic in my inbox, I'm going to be very disappointed.
That's right. Everybody who's watching now, you mean Dick Van Dyke, or Dick related, but not phallic. Dick related, but not phallic pictures.
Yeah.
So any guys called Dick, you know, Spotted Dick, the food. You know, yeah, that's a bit of a tragically named food, isn't it? Really.
Spotted Dick. Yeah, it does sound like a VD.
Have you ever tried it though?
I don't know.
Yeah, with a bit of custard.
Is it like a pudding? Isn't it a pudding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like raisins.
I've never tried it.
Like raisins.
I think it's kind of spongy. Yeah, I think the raisins are the spotty bits, aren't they? I think it's spongy.
All right, I'm gonna have a look.
It was better than the vagina buns, I'll tell you that.
Oh.
I definitely preferred it to those.
Oh man. Oh, brilliant.
Anyway.
But either way, here's a bit of a random one. I found this like ages and ages ago, and I don't even know why it's in my head. But we were talking about spotted dick, so it's just come into my head. If you go into Google, you know, there was a Red Dwarf episode where everything was reversed, and they went to London, but it was backwards. It was called Nodnall. If you type Nodnall into Google image search, it's fucking weird.
I'm gonna do that right now.
I'm not sure. You know what? I'm gonna do it now as well because it's been a few years. I put it on. You know what? It's been so long that I did it on Geek Pride ages. I said, please. I put on this thing. I said, right, everybody. It's very important that you don't type Nodnall into Google image search. Just don't do it. And then obviously people did it. And then we had some women who got super offended and said, how dare you do that? And I was like, what are you talking about? I told you not to. And she said, yes, but you would expect us to do that. And it's like, well, I told you not to. And yeah, so that didn't go down too well. But let me just type it in here. Oh, there's a place called Nodnall in Bulgaria. Brilliant. There you go. Nodnall. Images. It's a bit tame now. What happened to...
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
I've got a thing
what am I
asking me
looking
for...
at here?
Yeah, it's just... boo. They've obviously changed it. Oh, well. That bit of fun's out the window now.
Mine's asking me for a robot capture thing. It's really sketchy. Looks like I've hacked my own Google account.
Yeah, basically when I did it before, it was just some fucking weird porn like just came up. It was like really fucking weird.
You could have told me that. That's on my search history now.
Yeah, so it was.
If you scroll down though, there's like a weird robot baby silver man with something in his mouth, and then there's like a Donald Trump cat.
Yeah, I'm just going to say just random stuff here. We've got a tandem bike here. So they've got a guy with a what looks like a knob, not a penis, like a sort of like fire knob on his eye.
Like a doorknob?
Yeah, like not sort of like one of those ones that you open, sort of like a valve, like a valve type thing.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Next to the Chihuahua.
Yeah, next to the Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Some really. I'm very disappointed with that. I was expecting there to be penises and guys doing stuff that were not. Yeah. Oh well, there you go. That fun's done. So yeah. Okay, on that non-penis related bombshell, I think we're going to end it here, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for watching, listening. As always, if you are going to download this, you can find us on iTunes and on Google Play. We're on YouTube, Twitch, on the website as well. So I have been Matt Geary. Oh no, we do this every time. Every time. All right, so we're going to start off with Julietta. Then Bevan.
Oh wait, can we swap? Can I be like, I've been Matt Geary?
Okay. All right, I'll be Bevan Clatworthy. You be Matt.
Oh no.
And then you can be Julietta. What do you mean? Oh no.
I really struggled to pronounce your second name.
Zabatsky.
Just say Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
Oh, Mike. Devin, I forgot. We forgot. We've got to do your Arnold Schwarzenegger quote.
The only one I could what?
Since when?
The only one I know at the moment is that PPI one, but I'm not sure that's him.
No, you were going to do last time when we did it with Mike. You were going to do posh. You were going to
Conan.
do posh quotes. So Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes. Let's
Into the boat.
Oh no, that's actually film quotes.
It says Mac a lot. Mac.
Dylan, get to the chopper. Right. Let me see. What's a good one?
How about put that cookie down now?
Yes, go on then. Do that one. That's a good one. Devin. In your pocket.
Entertain us, monkey.
Dance, monkey, dance.
So what am I saying?
Just Arnie quotes.
Put that cookie down now, or forget it. I'm not sitting on your lap.
Yes.
Amazing. Forget it. I'm not sitting on your lap.
Oh my god, that sounded so much like Arnie.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, is Arnie in here?
Wow.
Well, I'm so sorry.
So we're going to end it. We're going to end it with me, Bevan Clapworthy. Then we're going to go for Matt Geary, and then
Matt Geary.
Juliet. And I want you to put on your best Northern Irish accent for it. And I'm going to do.
Wait, say what I'm going to say in your accent, in a really thick Irish accent.
And I've been Matt Geary.
You sound exactly the same.
Biggity bong, so it is. Potato!
How you do that?
Potato!
You're after me, Lucky Charms.
Yeah, they're always trying to steal me Lucky Charms.
Is that from is it Little Britain where it's like David, you shit? Is that Wales?
That would be Wales.
That's
yes.
Wales, yeah.
That would be
He's
Wales.
the only gay in the village.
The only key in the village.
That's a good Welsh accent. Very good.
Happy
Yeah.
Matt Geary.
Yes, the Welsh Matt Geary. You can be the Welsh Matt Geary. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Welsh Matt Geary.
Yeah.
His evil twin.
So you can start us off then, since you're leading the podcast, Matt Geary, and then I'll go, and then Julietta will end.
Well, guys, I've been the only gay in the village, and I'm Matt Geary.
You went slightly started Welsh, went a bit with something other else, and then ended up Scottish towards the end.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, accents aren't my thing.
But I've been Bevan Clatworthy.
You are. And I've been Julieta Zavatsky. Got it? Nailed it?
Yes. That's it. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Good night.